On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks are going into the training camp with no starting lineup. How will the competition shake out? Is this the right path? We'll tell you on today's Locked On Mavs.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
Dog, on 5.
Explain this inside.
All these changes, I still got my dog Dwight Powell.
You are Locked On Mavs. Great, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still killing.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like that.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years. Thanks for being in every day or making Locked On Mavs your first listen and making Locked On Sports Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network out there. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets if that wins to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. And joining me, as always, my co-host, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years, right alongside me, the training camp crooner, the one we're thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
I'm just excited. I'm excited that we get no more Jonathan Kuminga updates. We
Just
got the final one
involved.
today.
For everyone involved.
Thank you for just taking us on that journey through the ups and the downs of everything in that negotiation. And
it's not done though, right? They're gonna rip up the contract next offseason, and we're gonna do this
That
all
wording
again.
was
And
incredible.
the updates are gonna start in the middle of the season.
yeah, trade deadline, all the stuff. So
Yes.
it's a big moment
Gonna
on
happen
Tuesday. Pretty excited for JK.
Today's episode, though, we are gonna talk about Mavs' first day at training camp. We heard from Cooper Flagg, Klay Thompson, Jason Kidd. A lot of talk about what happened, what they wanted to do, and what they wanted to accomplish in their first day. Klay Thompson was impressed by Cooper Flagg by one thing. We'll talk about that. Jason Kidd said something about the last couple of championship teams have had two bigs, and we got some things to say about that. So we'll talk about that. But let's start here. On media day, one of the things Jason Kidd said, which I kind of appreciated, that he didn't just like make up some answer or something, because he said that the Mavericks don't have a starting lineup right now. He's like, I'm not going to say the starting lineup. They're going to go in, and there's spots open for the starting lineup.
There's spots guaranteed. There's spots open.
That's correct. And we do know,
I don't always tell you guys the truth.
but I do believe him in this, that there are spots open. And I think that they are going into this with competition, that they are looking at some of these spots. And if you had to name the two spots that are guaranteed, it's obviously Kyrie when he comes back. We'll throw that one to the side for a second. It's Anthony Davis, it's Cooper Flagg, and everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. I mean, I think it's going into training camp and even, the first part of the season, I think it's just two with AD and Cooper since Kyrie's out for a while. And even, how Kyrie was talking about the point guard spot while he was out. He was asked about it in his presser there, and him just talking about how, D'Lo's, he's fine, he's good, but this is a competition, and how he's looking forward to that competition and camp. And I think he even said the line at the end of, whoever comes out as the starter,
Right.
He'll support and all of that. And I would personally be surprised if someone beat out D'Lo for the starting spot. I think that was part of the getting him to come here and all of that. But everything after D'Lo, I mean, who knows? Like, we don't even know if Dennis is going to make the roster, and Brandon Williams and Exum, and there's just so many different guys. But outside of that point guard spot, then you look at is it Lively or Gafford that's going to start with AD in the front court? Is it, we think it's Klay Thompson, but is it PJ? Is it someone else? Like, that's what I feel like Kidd was alluding to with that answer.
I agree with that. I also agree that I think D'Angelo Russell is the next one you can pencil in, or the next one you can bet on, because
More than Klay?
Yeah. Because if they go with PJ, then they're not going with Klay.
Okay.
And I think that this whole thing, the not having a starting lineup thing, actually says more about how deep the roster is than how up for grabs, or how weak the starting lineup is going to be, or however else you would want to put it. I don't think this is a negative. I think this is a positive. Hey, they have two starting caliber centers. They have the guard spot is maybe the one where there's concern, where that's the weakest spot. I think D'Angelo Russell should take it. He should be a good stopgap guard in that starting lineup spot. But I think that he is is going to play well in that spot. I think he's going to be able to play next to Kyrie when he comes back if they decide to do that. But for the starting lineup, I think he's got that one. It would be fascinating to me if they decided to go with like an Exum for stability, or if they decided to go with Dennis for if he makes the roster for defense or something like that. That would like
That's more of a Rick move.
That would surprise me. Yeah, and I think that is more of a Rick move than a Jason Kidd move. But so it's probably D'Angelo Russell. But then like to have 2 starting caliber centers like says a lot about this roster. Like those guys would start, Lively or Gafford would start on a bunch of teams, and Anthony Davis would start at center on a bunch of teams as well. But then, okay, so I think we would both go with Lively over Gafford right now.
Yeah, I would for sure. I think you have to. I mean, I've kind of been in this camp of you got to commit to Lively like he's a young piece, like Cooper. That's in my opinion. I did I was in the plane the other day, going back to Kentucky for a few days, and I did this like Q&A and stuff on Twitter, and somebody asked me like, hey, if you took over GM, what would be your top priorities right now? And I think one of those, and I put it on there, one of those would be establish the Cooper Lively connection, because
Flagly.
I think they're the what?
Flagly.
Flagly. Just because I think it's important to build that chemistry, and whoever starts and all that stuff, I think I would go into making a point that I want a lot of minutes with those guys together, because no matter what direction you take over the next couple of years, if things go south and injuries happen and all this stuff, you're still going to have those 2 guys, and those 2 guys playing a prominent role. Whether it goes great and you're playing at the best of your abilities, you're still going to have those 2 guys playing a prominent role. Yeah. So why not? They're so young. I think you need to focus on that connection. So yes, I think it's Lively that should start. And to your point about it being a good thing, yes, I think it is a good thing. I don't think there's any world in which it's a bad thing that they don't have a firm starting lineup right now. For me, it comes into consistency once the season starts. I love it being like open and stuff right now for a few spots and who's going to win out and all this stuff. It is sometimes coaches take it into like you start the season and we're like, you know what? You never know who's going to start. And there's a couple games and starters. And then it's like, oh, now we're switching up here. Well, now switching up here. And for some players, that's just like, it's hard for them to adjust that. And I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that's, he talks about going up to October 21st. That's how long he has to figure out the starting lineup and stuff. So, yeah, I think they'll land on a starting lineup at some point before we're coming out of camp. I mean, we'll see it in the first preseason game, something, but
they have to start 5 players in the first preseason. That's on Monday.
We also saw Omac start.
Yeah, we did
in the preseason too. And Jason Kidd has something up his sleeve for that to get all of us talking. So I can't wait, to see. I can't wait to see Ryan Nembhard starting on.
I was gonna say, I love a head coach that trolls the fan base and the media with the starting lineup decisions.
Yeah, he'll start Dennis with with
yeah,
Klay,
we'll all be like, he's gonna make the roster. Absolutely. How could he not if he started?
Yeah. With Klay, Cooper, and AD and Lively, and he'll put Dennis in there. And we're like, whoa! He'll just do it to troll everybody.
I have to apologize that you felt that he should have played more.
You should ask after the first preseason game why somebody didn't play more minutes.
For those that don't know, that drop is from 2021. It is from Reggie Bullock when he first joined the Mavericks, and he played 17 minutes in the first 2 games. And I thought he should be a starter, 30-minute guaranteed guy on that team. And
I have to apologize that you felt that he should have played more.
Apologizing to me.
Well, he was the main offseason addition too. That's when they dumped Grant Williams with a pick to get Reggie Bullock. Or was it the other way around?
No. Grant Williams wasn't on the team yet.
Okay. But he was the main acquisition. So then it was like, oh, well, he didn't play a ton. And you asked that. I was over Zoom at the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was wild. But there's no starting lineup. I'm curious to see if they go with PJ over Klay, though. That lineup, the big lineup, it would be D'Angelo Russell, PJ Washington, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and one of the centers, Lively or Gafford. That is such a big lineup. There's just so many. It would just be fascinating. We're going to see that lineup at some point. I don't know if it starts.
I think Klay's more of a lock. I think Klay's more of a lock than Lively and D'Lo.
Dogs.
Dang. That's pretty hot. That's pretty hot.
Really?
Okay, coming up. Isaac's gonna give me his reason why Klay Thompson is a absolute lock in the starting lineup. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. We're making bets on the starting lineup, but you can make bets on all kinds of things at FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app anywhere. Player specials. Do we still have the flag ones up? We do. Cooper Flagg to record a triple-double in any regular season game this season, minus 115. They absolutely think that's going to happen. That's fascinating to me. 2 triple-doubles plus 440. That's still like, those are not that great odds. Like, 2 triple-doubles is a lot to me. 40 points or more is plus 360. They think that may happen too. Like there's a good chance for that to happen. But 45, too much. That's plus 2,500. So all kinds of good stuff there on FanDuel. Go check it out. See what is available for you. They don't just have NBA. They also have NFL as well. So go download the FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com. Again, put your first $5 down. You can get $300 in bonus bets if that one wins at FanDuel.com. Please gamble responsibly.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners, listening every single day. We've got our interviews. If you haven't watched them on YouTube or listened to them on the podcast feed, go listen to our Media Day interviews that we did. D'Angelo Russell, some good stuff. We'll talk about that in a bonus episode later today. We'll break down some of those answers, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But today we're talking about training camp. We talked about the starting lineup, and you mentioned Klay Thompson. Do you think Klay Thompson is more of a lock in the starting lineup than D'Angelo Russell or either one of the centers? Make your case.
I do. He's the best shooter on the team, and I think they desperately need shooting on this team for spacing. Just for more outside shooting. He's a Hall of Famer, and I think you saw at the end of that Golden State tenure. Now I get it was pods and it was Golden State and all this stuff. Starting meant something to him, and it meant a lot, and that's just something he's done for years. And not saying he wouldn't be a good sport or any of that, but that was a storyline. That was some of the reporting coming out of there. That it was a little frustrating at times. It was hard. It was inconsistent, and I just don't think. I think here's the thing. I think we've always talked about how it's all about who closes games instead of who starts games. That's the most important. I think PJ will play more minutes than Klay, but I think Klay will be as in pin as a starter for a while. And I agree with that. I think it's the right decision too.
And I think that's what they should do as well. Like that I've said Klay should start from the very beginning because of this very reason. You're going to start a non-shooting center unless Lively all of a sudden goes the Mark Cuban route and takes a whole bunch of threes. Anthony Davis, who shot under 30% for the last 4 years. Cooper Flagg's going to be a rookie coming in. And then D'Angelo Russell's a good shooter. And then you got to have somebody else. Like if you don't have an elite shooter at that spot, that is just some rough shooting across the board.
And a point here, if you're in the camp, you're listening to this and you're like, well, Klay's defense is taking a step back. I get it. He's not the same pre-injury Klay that was like a great 3-and-D guy guarding these opposing point guards and all this stuff. But I go back to something Naji Marshall told us whenever you were asking about him playing with.
He said what?
Dogs. All of us. All 5.
I think you asked him about playing with bigs and the bigger front court stuff this year. And he said, he made the comment, he said, the bigs make it easier for the backcourt and defenders and the pressure that they can give. And, his point is, and what a lot of us talked about this whole time is if you have Cooper, AD, and Dereck Lively out there or Daniel Gafford, you have 3 of those guys, then it gives you a little bit of leeway of whoever's playing the 1 and the 2 out there on the perimeter that can give a little bit more pressure. And if you do get blown by, then you have some trees down there.
You got them right there.
Real trees.
Not the ones that are planted by companies.
Exactly.
Did you hear Kawhi Leonard say that he thinks it was a conspiracy, the whole thing? He said that at Media Day that he thinks the whole thing is a conspiracy.
Y'all can't, I guess what are you supposed to say if you're them? But still, it's just funny.
Going back to our offseason survey, we had over 1,000 people respond, and 60% said that they think Klay should start with Kyrie, Cooper, AD, and Lively. So they're in agreement with us too, at least the majority. Training camp, bunch of things happened on there. We got to hear from Klay and from Jason Kidd.
Bunch is probably stretching it, but
I mean, they did a bunch of things
in camp. Yeah.
In camp, they did a bunch of things.
I appreciated a few questions to
You don't think that Jason Kidd did a bunch of things in training camp?
I thought you meant like
you think they just did one thing?
I thought you meant quotes after.
Today, we're doing wall sits. That's all we're doing.
I did appreciate the questions. Leslie was there and Dana, friend of the pod, Dana.
That's right.
She's great. There were multiple questions a kid about the new coaching staff. It's all new for the most part. So I appreciated those and just hearing how he's talking about, with Triano has a lot of experience in there and obviously Vogel does and a bunch of the assistants, Popeye and them. But I appreciated those questions. It's not it's more of insider baseball stuff. Not everybody cares about that, but I like those questions.
I'll say, if you're here listening to this show, you care about those things too.
That's true. That's true. And you're subscribed to our insider program.
That's correct. Klay Thompson said that he was impressed by Cooper Flagg. He said he did great. Didn't set out of one drill, and that's what impressed him. And just he's always going to compete. He's always going to be out there no matter what. Not going to take a break. He's a maniac competitor. That's the thing that I think is lost on some people because they talked about his physical attributes and they've talked about his skills. And you're like, all right, what's going to translate? How can I imagine this player as a potential MVP? All right, I can imagine this player as a potential MVP with those skills and those traits, with the maniac competitiveness that he has. That's part of it. And that's what Klay said impressed him today.
I need Cooper to smile a little bit. The crazy, he seems so intense and he's 18 in this, intense in a way of he's so robotic with the answers. He just seems so locked in. Just so locked in. It's a great thing. I'm not complaining about it. I'm it's a joke kind of all right, I need a smile, a laugh from you right now. Blink if you are breathing. And just to hear the Klay part about the drill fits everything too.
Yeah, right.
He refuses to sit down. He's like, I'm not sitting down. I'm not taking a break.
That's right. I was talking to our Locked On Wizards host, and they said that all the vets on the Wizards were talking about Trey Johnson and how Trey Johnson doesn't think about or do anything else besides basketball and sleep. That's all he does. And then CJ McCollum got up on the stand and was like, I'm actually concerned about him. I think I told him he needs to find a hobby because he's going to kill himself just only caring about basketball. Maybe we need Cooper Flagg to find some kind of hobby or something.
I guess it's golf.
I was going to say,
I kind of want to ask him the question of what makes you laugh? What is something non-basketball or golf that you could talk about for 20 minutes?
Maybe we saw some of it when he started to call some of the players unk. That's just a little thing where he made a joke and made him laugh. The thing though about it, did Luka laugh at all his rookie year or smile except for being on the court? That's the thing. That's the thing that got him going. When did Luka he was just very reserved, didn't answer much.
He was reserved, but you saw him smiling, just walking around. He was always joking around and
we do get very stern Cooper Flagg.
And it's not a complaint. He just seems so locked in, and it's awesome as far as professional. I'm just it's more of a fun, joking type thing.
The big thing today was establishing identity on the team. That was the focus. Jason Kidd talked about that. He wanted to see competition. Obviously, we talked about the competition starting lineup, but there's competition to make the roster, which I love. The fact that they have a Dennis Smith Jr., a Jeremiah Robinson Earl, guys that have been on NBA rosters before that don't have a guaranteed spot on this team at all. That is not even a hint, hey, you may get a spot. They're not even guaranteed anything at this point. We talked to Dennis at Media Day, and he was like, I got to have it. He knows that he is facing an uphill battle getting this roster spot. So Jason Kidd wanted to see competition. And
that's what, that was one of the people Kidd gave a little shout out to today. Mm-hmm. And now, granted, I think Dwayne did ask him straight up, how did Dennis look or how was Dennis today? But Kidd did, say, hey, he was one of the guys that stood out today, referencing some scrimmage stuff and just how he competed and stuff. And yeah, he does have to have it. So this is kind of a second chance or another stint here in the league that he's fighting for.
I do think though that Jason Kidd sometimes,
I don't always tell you guys the truth.
Anytime you bring up a specific player to him, he always says that player stands out though.
Listen,
every time after every practice I've been to,
we got to figure out we got to figure out. We're picking and choosing when he's lying and when he's not. So we're just like guessing.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
I know, but we can't run all that. We can't run with the things we like and be like, oh yes, and like.
So you just think he's telling the truth about everything, even though
I don't always tell you guys.
he literally said that.
I know, but it's also hard when he says something and we'll like, hey, we're going to do 2 segments on this quote right here and how awesome it is, or about the style or the 2 bigs or something. And then another thing he said, like, well, he doesn't tell us the truth either.
Okay. He would lie about or not tell the truth about a player that stood out because he is not going to say anything negative about a player or say anything even like neutral about a player.
Yeah.
There are things that you go, why would he lie about that? Like, what's the point? Right? Like the starting lineup thing. If he had a starting lineup in mind and it wasn't really a competition, why would he not tell the truth about that?
Oh no, I could totally see him just not telling.
What's the benefit of him lying about that? Does he just gets more competition out of training camp?
What's the benefit of him anytime he lies? I think he just lies for the heck of it.
Well, okay,
just
so let's say
play games on
let's
us
say our
sometimes.
guy Dennis, who we love. Let's say he didn't have a great day. But he lied and said he had a great day. Because if he says what actually happened, he's like, all right, well, he actually didn't have a great day. Then Dennis finds that out, and then that's not great.
Well, I
But
think
you
there's
say-
a difference between saying like, oh yeah, it was a solid first day for him. He did good out there. He's learning how to do things, compared to like, hey, he's one of the guys who stood out today. Like,
But see, my point is, after every practice, every game, if you bring up a specific player to Jason Kidd, he will say that player stood out. That player was great today. That player was awesome. Like it to me, it's the consistency of like every single time you mention a certain specific player, that player was the one that stood out. Okay, I asked about.
all right. Well, from this moment on, if he says anything about Cooper, and Cooper killed it today as an 18-year-old, like this is crazy. We're not running with it. We're not leading the show with it. It's just a pure lie.
I just am.
We believe the Cooper ones.
He
but
said
we do
he
not
won't
believe
always tell
anyone.
the truth. He does tell the truth sometimes. It's our job to figure out when we think he's telling the truth and when he's not.
No, I mean, we could honestly just turn it into a game. It's like, do you think this is lie or do you think this is truth? And
You want me to put music behind it? I'll put music behind it.
I don't always tell you guys the truth.
this one's
And
a
welcome back
lie.
to the brand new Locked On Mavs game where we try to tell if Jason Kidd
I don't always tell you guys.
is telling the truth or not. Isaac Harris. All right,
Get
Jason
the little
Kidd
lie
said.
detector like soundbite.
Jason Kidd today said that D'Angelo Russell was the most vocal player on the team. Was he telling the truth or not?
I'm gonna go with truth. Ding 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 ding.
It's part of the reason why that drives me insane. We don't know if he's telling the truth or not because he literally said.
I don't always tell you guys the truth.
I think a lot of coaches do. I mean, Rick used to lie to us all the time.
We knew Rick was lying to us. Rick knew that he was that we knew he was lying.
And
to us.
honestly, I would probably do the same thing because
Yes.
I love
No, of course. I'm
I
not
love
saying it's
messing with
bad.
people. I mean,
I think-
I would do it all the time.
Yes, and there is no benefit of Jason Kidd to say, yeah, you know what, Dennis actually wasn't great today. You know, like, you know who does that though? He's like Joe Mazzulla. Did you hear the quote that Joe Mazzulla said to Anthony Simons?
There's no telling.
We talked about this on Locked On NBA. He went to him and said, you know, your defense isn't as bad as everybody says it is.
Wow. Okay.
You imagine Jason Kidd did that? He
thought
said
you were
that
gonna
on
do
media
some,
day
like-
too.
I thought Missoula was going to do like, yeah, your defense, when you look at Normandy and you kind of like Missoula's just,
You know, Goodwill Hunting. Coming up. Let's get into what else we learned from training camp. What else Jason Kidd said that
I don't always tell you guys.
may or may not be true coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Peloton. That's right. We got Peloton in tow. Let yourself run, lift, flex, push, go, all that kind of stuff. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you a real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, cross-training with your favorite instructors. It doesn't have to just be the bike thing. If you're like somebody, I've done cycle classes, and like it's like, I don't think that's for me. Like, there's something about, I just can't find a seat that works for me, whatever it is. But if you want to do running, lifting, cross training, they have all kinds of stuff on the Peloton app. You can go check that out. This is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you stay motivated, plan, and reach peak performance like the Mavericks in training camp right now. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton cross training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. It's the word one, peloton.com.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
I don't always tell you guys the truth.
I'm so glad I put that back on the soundboard today. got a good run out of that one today. All right. For the rest of the show, I'm going to just pretend everything Jason Kidd says is the truth.
That's true. Yep.
Okay. I'm
Ready.
Jason Kidd said energy was high today. Talk was high. He really wanted to push relationship. He wanted the players to push relationships and to start building that, build championship habits, and have fun today.
Energy was low.
It might have been.
No, there's a lot about energy high. A lot of people talking. I think Klay said this is part of, maybe even Cooper said about this is part of setting the culture and stuff right off the bat of like the culture we want to have this year with the guys and building and all of that. So it seemed like, and teaching, Kidd dropped that a lot. There's a lot of teaching, probably more standing around, he said today, of just learning new things because there's new coaches, new players, all the stuff.
Well, Cooper Flagg said he had to learn all new terminology, and he said he caught himself using some terminology from Duke because everything, like basketball is the same across all the boards. Everybody calls things different things, and that's one of the things that every new NBA player talks about is having to do that.
He said someone told him it's better just to say something, even if it's not right. Like I would just be hollering. Somebody's cutting to the basket. Tree. Like I don't know. I forgot what it was.
Paul Bunyan
yelling something.
The other thing that they had to learn is they're learning a new system and a new offense. Klay Thompson mentioned this, that we got different personnel than last season. You have to play a different style, play to our strengths, cutting off the ball, playing through our big men. And this is the thing we've been saying all offseason is it's got to be different. It's got to be new. It's got to be a different style. And they've got to play, like, it can't be this one player, like, high usage anymore. It can't be one player setting everybody up anymore. They don't have the personnel to do that. They've got to play differently. They've got to play more off-ball stuff, faster. Like, all the things Jason Kidd has been was trying to add to the previous offense, they've got to start with, like, that has to be their foundation now.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to those Harden Rockets teams. You go back to Luka and Dallas. Like, when you have a guy like that is efficient as the guy is, you run a system like that. You have such a brilliant player like Luka. You run the system like it. Well, now you don't have Luka, and it's a different type. Like, you don't have to have a guy like Luka to win a title or a guy like Harden to win a title, but you got to run the best system, and this is what it is now. This is going to be more movement, like Klay said, more cutting, running stuff through the bigs. That's going to be a shock for, I think, Mavs fans watching the Mavs consistently over time. Hopefully we get a lot of consistent AD this season. It's just it's gonna feel different, right? Like, we're seeing the offense run through. AD's not gonna bring it up the floor if they're not running in transition, which I think they're gonna do a lot of this year, and they're actually setting stuff up. You're gonna see a lot of stuff run through AD, whether it's the block, whether it's the high post, wherever it is. Like, they're gonna run stuff through AD, and that's just it's gonna feel different and look different than what we've been used to watching the past 7 years.
Very different, but I think it can be effective. I like that they keep
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just
right.
Yeah, it's just different.
I like that they keep talking about multiple ball handlers because they're going to need to push that. That has to be something that happens. It can't be just one player. If we see D'Angelo Russell like a 35 usage or like a 30 usage percentage, I don't think that, or Anthony Davis even with like, he's bringing up the ball, he's initiating offense a lot. You're like, okay, well, I don't know.
But even when Kyrie comes back, I don't think he's going to have a crazy.
Yeah,
it's just how they want to run the system and with all the different guys they have, and all of them have spoke very highly of it. I think you can kind of read between the lines whenever there's a system or something that players and stuff are kind of like they're going to say some good things about, but you can kind of see different little things.
Well, they may be lying.
I'm talking about the players. I'm not talking about kids.
I'm just saying that players would say, people would say one thing.
I never said they don't lie. They're gonna lie, but it will come out that the players don't like a certain system at some point.
Oh, the Grizzlies last year was just like so obvious they didn't like that offense from Taylor Jenkins.
And even the Luke offense wasn't for everybody. Like that wasn't for every Mavs teammate that came through. A heliocentric offense.
Would that happen this time if somebody didn't like the offense? Like,
I don't know why they wouldn't like the offense, because I think a lot of people are going to touch the ball and it's going to be more movement and cutting and all the stuff. So
yeah, that would
I don't think so. I think it'd be more about playing time than it would be about a certain system.
Correct. That would be. What
about the kid two bigs comment?
Jason Kidd said the last couple of championship teams have gone with 2 bigs.
Okay,
he's lying about this. No, I'm just kidding. He's not.
Remind me the Boston one with Horford. Who else was there?
So it was
KP.
Porzingis. It was last year was Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. Then it was Horford and Porzingis. We were at those finals games.
I don't know,
You blocked it out.
I forget about KP.
I can't. I will never forget Porzingis walking down that stupid white hallway to like the loudest cheer I heard the whole time I was at the finals.
That game 1 in Boston.
Oh, I will never forget that. Denver didn't really play. They played Aaron Gordon and Jokic. That wasn't really 2 bigs.
We had lunch before that game outside of TD Garden, didn't we?
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did. That was great. Warriors had Draymond and Kevon Looney. Not really either. Kind of, not really.
Well, it's more of looking at these past 2. He said these past 2.
Yeah,
and
last couple.
It really comes down to. It's like, are you like Chet? Yes, he's 7 foot. I don't know. Do people, you in the comments, do you view that as the same as like, hey, 2 bigs, 2 like AD and Gafford or AD and Lively? Is that the same 2 bigs as a Chet with Hartenstein?
The thing about it is your bigs have to be multidimensional. Like probably both of them have to be multidimensional. You even go back to like, I guess PJ Tucker and Brook Lopez or Brook Lopez and Giannis.
That's not 2
if you're
bigs.
Counting them, or go back to like Dwight, JaVale, and Anthony Davis. Was the last one that like had a legit traditional center and then had a multi-dimensional
Brook Lopez and Giannis, maybe.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is either that. PJ Tucker started a bunch of those games. I don't know if he's a 4 or 3 or whatever they decided to do, but Brook Lopez at least shot the 3, and so it added a dimension, right? You've got Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein do a bunch of things, a bunch of different dimensions. Isaiah Hartenstein maybe more of a traditional big for sure, but Chet has like straight up guard skills. Like Chet can dribble, Chet can take jumpers, and
Chet can shoot the 3.
Can shoot the 3 for sure. And Anthony Davis is multidimensional. His 3-point shot is not great. That has to be better.
Horford and KP. Both can shoot the 3.
Multidimensional, can shoot the 3. Can guard out on the perimeter is another part of being multidimensional too. Is huge. Both those guys can do that. Both the Thunder guys can do that too. And I think both Lively and AD can do that. And I think that is something that makes them multidimensional in a way. But the offensive end is going to be tough from that point of view. He is right though that multiple bigs have won championships. So I think the takeaway for me from that is it's not disqualifying to have 2 bigs. Right? Like, it's also not a rule that you have to have them. And if you do have them, that you have this advantage. But I did go through a couple episodes ago. I went through and I went through every single team in the NBA. There are going to be times when the Mavericks look across the way and go, we're just bigger and badder than that team. And they're going to have a rough night against us. Like they're just going to have a terrible night trying to rebound against us. Like the Mavericks will say that to the majority of the teams in the NBA this season.
Well, you want to be good enough to where you're not the one adjusting. You're so good that the other team has to adjust to your size. And that's where they have to be as efficient on offense to make that adjustment happen.
That's right. Yeah.
In the
I did say.
You had your little sneaky little grin, and then I started laughing. So
we'll do another episode today about D'Angelo Russell, our interview with him. He had some good things to say about Anthony Davis and playing with it. He talked about the key to playing with Anthony Davis, which I found really interesting. And then he also talked about structure, and that was getting a lot of play today because that clip got posted by NBA Central. A lot of people were talking about structure. So we'll do that episode a little bit later today on whatever feed you're listening or watching this. Go check out that. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked on Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom!